BestBall Draft-a-Palooza is back. It's Wednesday, and we're drafting best ball teams all summer long. Let's fucking go. Best ball teams, right? Draft-a-Palooza. Today we're gonna do DraftKings today. So we're gonna we did Underdog Monday. We've been doing Underdog Mondays and Fridays, a little DraftKings action on Wednesdays, and I've got some competition now on Underdog. Apparently, people are getting excited about the Eliminator. We love the Eliminator. Almost want to be on Underdog doing Eliminator drafts today, but we're going to do some DraftKings. Maybe we'll do one DraftKings and one Eliminator. I got to get those Eliminators in. But I want to talk a couple of headlines, a couple of the latest breaking fantasy news items, and I'm using the DFS Army news feed, which a lot of people don't even know that we have, to go through a couple of interesting headlines. One, Miles Sanders, a couple days ago, working with the starters in Dallas minicamp. So in Dallas camp right now, it looks like Sanders and Javonte are kind of competing for that starting job. They say that, quote, fifth-round rookie Jaden Blue is taken to the NFL quickly, but one of the veterans projects to be the starter. So an ugly situation looming in Dallas. Okay. Another headline here, Jermaine Burton continues to show growth. Do with that what you will. I do think at some point, a lot of people, we talk about Yoshavas here as this backup guy. Maybe Burton could finally kind of step up and be that WR3 for the Bengals. We'll see. Also, T. Higgins gets hurt a lot. So, maybe that WR2 miracle could happen with Burton. But right now, not really looking too good. Terry McLaurin still not pleased with his contract situation from 2 days ago. Not happy where things are. It's a little something going on there with the team. I wouldn't worry about this. This isn't something we're going to worry ourselves about. McLaurin is old, and I get it, man. He wants to get paid. Hopefully he does. I'm rooting for him. Let's see here. Nyheim Hines. Dak Prescott full go for training camp. Do with that what you will. Wasn't expecting anything different. So there we go. And a big piece of news on the front page of the headlines. And this one, to me, is the biggest sort of blurb that I've seen, which is J.K. Dobbins, the starter in Denver. According to Broncos beat writer Cody Rourke of Mile High Sports, recently acquired running back J.K. Dobbins will likely be the starter to open the 2025 campaign. I've been telling you guys, I've been warning you guys about R.J. Harvey and getting too excited about him. Now that Dobbins is with the team, Dobbins is a good player, and he's a veteran, and he can pass protect. He can do all the things that you want to do. So R.J. Harvey in a little bit of trouble here in terms of having, quote, an extensive role on the team this year. I think R.J. Harvey is going to be great. I think he's going to play, but I don't think he's going to be a great fantasy asset, assuming he's splitting time with Dobbins, as it looks like it will be this year. So be careful about the R.J. Harvey stuff. We haven't been drafting him. So if you've been following along, we have not been drafting Harvey. But if you have been, maybe slow it down. I don't think his ADP has moved down enough. Like I said here, we can get cute and get Harvey. I would wait. Like, we're in the early season, we're in the early part. It's July still. So what will happen as news of sort of Dobbins maybe overtaking him comes out, instead of taking him in round 5 or 6, you'll be able to get him around 8, 9, 10. That's what you want to do. So if you like R.J. Harvey, still take him, but you need to wait, bro. Wait later or later in the offseason, knowing that this information is floating there will tell you his ADP will continue to go down. So that being said, that's the headline. That's the headlines for this one. I got a couple of things I want to mention. First of all, big congratulations to Beavis, 50K winner in MLB. DFS Army MLB has been going nuts. It's been going crazy. If you're not doing it, the domination station, the way it sets up the stacks, it's just leading to wins. I think Uppers Lad has 9 or 10 wins already in the mini max, which is an insane amount for a season. And it's just showing you that the domination station is absolutely dominating for MLB this year. The new projection model crushing it. And wait till you see what our new, midway through last year, our most accurate NFL projection model ever conceived is what we have going for this upcoming NFL season. We used it second half of last year. It is mind-blowingly good. You'll win your cash games. So DFS Army, man, good luck. Every other site out there, step up. You think you think you're better than us? Let's see it. I challenge every other site in existence on their NFL projection system to come up against what we have going on here at DFS Army, the most accurate system in the business. So, hey, enjoy. But congrats to Beavis, 50K winner. The MLB projection upgrade this season has been spectacular. Yeah, suck it, suck it, suck it. That's how I do that on the camera. Let's go. All right, where were we? Okay, so we're going to do a DraftKings Best Ball contest, but at the same time, I have decided to use this show as a excuse to talk about the quarterback position in fantasy football QB rankings for my QB rankings for this year. So we're going to be, as we're doing this, I'm going to try to double task it. We'll see. We do a $3 one. We're going to do the play action on DraftKings. And as we're doing this, I'm going to go through the QB position for 2025 fantasy football rankings. And I'm going to go over a couple of sort of like how I've been like one of my best things in period. Probably my edge in season-long fantasy football, the biggest edge over the last few years, beyond everything else, is having been able to pick out weight on QB type quarterbacks that end up helping you win your league. Last year, it was Jaden Daniels. If you watched any of my breakdowns last year, every single, include going on the radio, Sirius, wherever I was talking about fantasy football, we talked about the cheat code last season for fantasy football was that you could get Jaden Daniels with pick 12 in your fantasy draft, right? So when you're up against your buddies and you take the quarterback, the last quarterback of the starters, the 12th one, that gives you a material edge on your it gives you a positional edge, right? Wherever somebody else took their first quarterback, you got a stud wide receiver, a stud running back, right? So you have a positional edge in terms of where you took someone. The difference between taking a quarterback in round 3, and you'll see it here, round 3, where I could still get Chase Brown, or the next group of running backs, which kind of would grab it like Breece Hall, I guess, but the round 3 running back group, wide receiver group. So if you take a quarterback in round 3, Josh Allen, hey, maybe I gave up Devontae Adams or Garrett Wilson or one of these stud wide receivers or stud running backs that are available in round 3. So now if I take the player, so I take Chase Brown in round 3, and then I take my quarterback in round 8, well, you took your quarterback in round 3, you got Josh Allen, cool, good stuff, but you had to take your running back in round 8, and that's Javonte Williams. That's, somebody you're not excited about. Whereas, so that's the positional edge stuff that I'm talking about. Let's see how this room is filling up, by the way. We are in the $3, $1.5 million play action. Let's see what's going on here. So when we got in there, we were just 3 of 12. We're in the 30-second timer version. We are at 11 of 12, so we'll be starting here shortly, guys. If you want to jump in, there's one spot left here. There we go. We are full. And I'm picking first. Let's go. Now, this is DraftKings. So there is some benefit to even fading Saquon Barkley with that first pick for either Chase or Bijan Robinson. I think at this point, that's your trio. For the first pick overall, it's got to be, you got to pick one of those 3. I think getting cute and going really far away from that group is not the right move. Man, I love Saquon so much. Chase is great. This is a great spot to be picking from. I don't mind. Everywhere is good this year. That first round is chock full of studs. But when we start with Barkley, we can kind of like try to get that triple running back stud thing going on. If we start with Chase, we can try to build what I think will be a very common build of the Chase Burrow or Chase Higgins Burrow kind of combination. So there's that. How did you miss it? We were here for so long. Tattoo. We had a lot of time. But as we're doing this breakdown, I'm going to talk about my theory in the quarterback position and about sort of QB rankings and how I see it all going down. But I'll just start in there and talk a little bit about that. Let me get my pick in first, and then we'll get into that conversation. But I have a way. There's a reason why we were on Jayden Daniels last year. There's a reason why we've been on like Hurts a couple years before that, Josh Allen. Nailing some of these quarterbacks that are dropping. Oh, all right, here we go. We're about to start. 4 seconds to go. And I'm going to explain my quarterback position stuff here in a second. But let's get started. And, I've Chase, Barkley. I got a lot of Barkley exposure. Going right back to it. I love having the hero running back to start it off. Like, my running back is secure. So let me talk a little bit about QBs. How do you rank quarterbacks? How do you figure out who's going to do well, who's not going to do well? So think about it like this. There's a couple of baskets of quarterbacks. For the most part, the best way to figure out what a quarterback is going to do is look at exactly what his fantasy points per game were last year and assume he's going to do about the same. So we start with that baseline, right? Past performance is indicative of future results, right? So Lamar Jackson averaged 26 fantasy points per game. You got 23 for Josh Allen. You got 22 for Jayden Daniels. Jalen Hurts, 22, same as Daniels. You got Burrow at 24, a little surprising that he's all the way up there last year. Baker Mayfield did pretty good as well, almost 24, so was just almost as good as these other guys. Little drop to Mahomes. Knicks was right there with Mahomes at 19. Kyler Murray had a good year, 18.7, right? Jared Goff at 20. So note that one interesting tidbit here. Here's your big drop. Caleb Williams, Hopium. Justin Fields, massive drop. Did not do very much last year. Brock Purdy was way up there, though. And Brock Purdy, surprising to the upside last year, just as good as a lot of these other guys. Right? So that's our baseline understanding. That's our baseline understanding of the quarterback position, right? What did they do last year? They're probably going to do more of the same. And then from there, I want to build out, all right, where have situations changed? So I'm going to go look through this whole group again, and I'm going to think about it. Who has new situations, right? What causes something to be better or worse than last year? A changing situation. All right, so Lamar, nothing's changed. Same team as last year. Everything should be exactly the same. All right, no, nothing there. Same with Josh Allen. Maybe, some of his younger pass catchers are maturing a little bit. Not really. No stud wide receiver has been brought in. Nothing's really changed for these guys. Jayden Daniels, yeah, about the same. I expect, what's changed for Jayden? He's added a year of, experience under his belt, and I think he's just going to get better. So Jayden Daniels, first possibility of somebody, what has changed? He now has experience. So he should be getting better as a player. Jalen Hurts, again, same exact team, same exact players. One change for Jalen Hurts would be the schedule seems a little tougher because they're coming off of a Super Bowl schedule. So they'll have more competitive games this year than last year. Okay, that could lead to some more scoring. Fine. Joe Burrow, nothing has changed. Was great last year. Joe Burrow competed with Lamar and these other guys for like the studliest. Same here with Baker Mayfield. Matter of fact, Mayfield has just added talent. One negative for Mayfield maybe would be that he lost the offensive coordinator. Who cares? Not much changed. Mahomes, situation improving, which is why you think he might improve on the 19.6. Mahomes, situation improving. Gets Rashee Rice back. Has Xavier Worthy as a stud wide receiver. Established, right? Now you get Rashee Rice back. Now you get Hollywood Brown in the mix. You get an in-shape Travis Kelce from the start of the season. So Mahomes, arrow pointing up. Bo Nix had a really good year last year, but more so in the second half. So again, Arrow really pointing up. Look at his second half, 36-pointer, 22, getting those 20s, 31. Some big scores in the second half of the year. So Bo Nix, a little more. Let's see what he did with his legs here. Yeah, leaves something to be desired. The leg work. All right, we're coming up on a pick again real soon, but just want to get into some of these names to understand why they're where they are. So who are some of the guys that have new situations? Caleb Williams, right? Was not good last year, but now a whole new coaching staff, some new players in the mix, but primarily we found out the coaching staff was terrible. So I think Caleb and Justin Fields, obviously with the move over to the Jets, leaving this low volume sort of play defense and don't do a whole lot to mess it up for us, passing attack, to maybe something different, maybe something better. That's a little of that QB breakdown. Trevor Lawrence is another one. And we'll get back to that in a second here. Our pick is coming up, so I'm going to pay some attention. But, what do we have going on here? Let's see what we got. Josh Jacobs, McConkey. So far the draft has gone pretty chalk. Janty going that late is interesting. Achane going that high. I kind of like it. I think what we're seeing is Achane moving on up the rankings lately. You've got the PPR, the non-PPR guys like Derrick Henry moving down. All right, so you effectively leave me Chase Brown. I will take it. And then we are going to go with Garrett Wilson. I want to build a stack, and I don't want to build it around Burrow. I think this next person's going to build that big Burrow stack here. Or actually, wow. Chase went third, so there you go. Oh, he didn't build it. That's interesting. So I thought that this guy here, Slick Native, would take T. Higgins and combo him up with Jamar Chase and get that combo going. Chose not to. There you go. I've got Garrett Wilson, Chase Brown. So one of the first things I'm already thinking about is, okay, can we build a little Jets, little Justin Fields stizzy? That'll work for me. I mean, I've got a lot of Jamar Chase at the one spot. I've done quite a few of those drafts, Rel Fantasy Football Talk. So, yeah, I mean, Chase is great. Yeah, take him first. Take Barkley first. Take the touchdowns, whatever. Even in this format. What's wrong with Barkley and his 25 fantasy points per game? Chase right there with him, 24.6. Okay, Which one can you replace better with a lot of other players? I don't think you can replace any of these first-round studs. All right, so let's go back to this theme of talking about quarterbacks. So who are some of the quarterbacks that have changing situations that can elevate from their sort of where they were last year? Where they sit? Dak Prescott. He now has George Pickens, a second stud wide receiver to throw to, plus his health. Dak Prescott can elevate. Drake May, second year, right? More experience. Did it with his legs a little bit last year. Not like going nuts, but hey, we've got some yardage. Let's see, yardage totals here. 30. We got, look at all the rushing attempts. 5, 6, 59 yards, 25, 30. This is not bad. 8 rushes, 95 yards. Drake May gets a year more experience under his belt, and now he's got Stephon Diggs on the team. Drake May, arrow is pointing directly up from this horrible 14.9 fantasy point per game average from last year. Drake May is a perfectly acceptable starting QB for your team. Has the legs. Now he's got the wide receiver talent to go along with it. They drafted a guy. He's got a little more experience. All of those things, I think, point to good things for Drake May. Arrow pointing up. Another one arrow pointing up for me is Trevor Lawrence. Whole new coaching staff. They bring in really a whole new group of wide receivers in there with Brian Thomas and of course Hunter coming in as the second guy. So, Lawrence arrow pointing up. Don't mind him. Not necessarily wanting to rely on him as my QB1, but don't mind him for some upside. These are the guys. Bryce Young was kind of coming on strong at the end of last year. Adds a WR1 to the mix. And so now you have McMillan in there. Helps everyone on the team. Bryce Young with another year of experience. So I think the arrow's pointing up for Bryce Young. So some of these guys have some real arrow pointing up. Danny Dimes, right? Not anybody you need to draft early, but hey, man, this guy gets it done with his legs. If Richardson goes down, which he probably will, I don't see why Danny Dimes couldn't have a big year. So there's a lot of interesting quarterbacks that we could take late that probably could compete with some of these early studs and give us a positional edge. Of course, one of the challenges here is you want these guys, if you can get them, you want these Lamar, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels types that can get you those 30-plus point games. They will happen with those guys. They're much, much less likely to happen with the other quarterback group. So when you're doing that, you damn well better get a third-rounder or a fourth-round player that can pop for big scores to make up for the fact that you are taking a quarterback later who probably isn't going to pop as frequently for those 25-plus point games. All right, we're coming up on our double pick, so got to pay attention again and start thinking about potential stacks and potential different builds that we can do here. So we've got QB RB position looks okay. Let's look at who's available at wide receiver here. And it's getting kind of thin. This is why, I get it. This is why you sometimes want to go with those earlier wide receivers. There's still plenty of good running back talent available. Wide receiver talent's getting a little thin. So I'm going to go Chuba here. Just going to look through and make sure. Yeah, I'm going to go Chuba with that first pick. Then I want to get a wide receiver. Hunter, Smith, Flowers. I really don't want Smith. He's more of a stack with. Yeah, I'm going to go Pickens. So we got our three solid running backs here with Barkley, Brown, and Hubbard. Got Garrett Wilson, George Pickens, stackable guys, both of them. Hunter, I'm not loving what I'm hearing out of Jacksonville about Hunter in terms of him being a volume wide receiver. It's still just not clear. I think this is one of the most dangerous picks this year. It's funny. He was going ahead of Ted McMillan earlier, and now Hunter's kind of like moving on back, right? So what's the story? Well, they don't have blurbs about him, but Hunter, they're kind of saying like, we're still going to play him. He's going to be a cornerback. I'm getting a feel that there is some risk that Hunter will be more of a Tavon Austin like guy who comes in for 15 snaps rather than this guy who's always on the field. I like the sound of this, so I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know with Tiami. I think he's definitely worth a pick here, though. Definitely worth a pick in this format. In best ball, let's De'Ami Brown's like readily available with your last pick. So we'll grab some De'Ami Brown exposure in case Hunter doesn't, kind of step up. Let's see what everybody's doing so far. So I think we've got a few people in the chat that are in this draft with us. I see B-Dubs. I can't. JPZ, are you in here? I see B-Dub. What's up, my brother? In there, Fact74. What's up, my man? In there as well. We got Liddy and Soups. Liddy 8. I don't remember your name. So welcome to the Draft-a-Palooza. Welcome to the Palooza. Everybody loves a Palooza. Whatever Palooza is going on by you, it's probably a good time. That's why we got a Draft-a-Palooza going all summer long. Like the only thing missing from the Draft-a-Palooza right now is like some Zeppelins. Like give me a funnel cake, some pizza. Give me a funnel cake. or one of those gyros. You know what I'm talking about? Like one of those gyros, a little halal sandwich. I'll take that. All right, so let's see what Soups is up to here. Achan with the Soups goes Achan early, single running back so far. Nico Stud Collins, Mike Evans, Lammy Jacks there, Xavier Worthy. So we got a wide receiver heavy approach. Lamar, we're waiting on running backs for Soups. I think that's a good approach in this contest where kind of late season coming on strong is much more important than starting strong. Liddy here in the chat with us. What's up, my brother? DFS happening in Virginia over at Tattoo's house. All right, Liddy, Puka start. Love Puka. Derrick Henry there. Great. Devontae Adams. You know I love Devontae. I absolutely adore Devontae Adams with pick 311. That is a steal. You stole him. Breece Hall ahead of Omarion Hampton. Okay, Breece Hall, yeah. All right, I'll just allow it. I don't know what to make of it. Then you go Godwin, Mayfield. So you got your beautiful stack going right there. This is a solid start. Solid start, my man. Fact 74, I do not like this double tap of the quarterbacks. I don't even know what the hell that's about, but this is not how you want to do this. I mean, I've heard some people talk about that as a possible strategy, but I don't like it one bit. So don't do that. B-dubs, what? Fact 74, you trolling? Oh, no. No, it almost looks trolly. Oh, my gosh. Jaden Daniel, Mahomes, Bo Nix, that's a disaster. It's a disaster. How the hell did it auto-draft so many quarterbacks? They need to switch up that AI, step him up, improve him. B-dubs, with the old running back duo of Connor and Mixon, playing with fire. Those old guys. They're old, B-dubs. It's like having LeBron and I don't know. Who are the old NBA players that always get hurt? Or they don't get hurt, but seem like they should. LeBron, you got Paul George on the team here. You got Kawhi Leonard. They're always out. Let's see. Who else? Cash-a-Palooza. We need to do a Cash-a-Palooza, just where we give out cash. Yeah. All right. Titan with 1 QB. All right. The Riddler goes to this guy here. All right. JPZ's up, and then we're on the clock. So I see some names that I still love. I should really sort by ADP rather than my personal rankings. Again, RJ Harvey, guys, don't take RJ Harvey. What are you doing? This donkey, of course, run pure. Donkey. All right, you take RJ Harvey. He's not even a starter. Donkey. All right, we're on the clock. QB's available. I want to get Justin Fields. Let's see. His ADP is 97. We're at pick. Well, we can wait a whole nother round for that. We're at 67. So I'm going to take my favorite wide receiver of the. Actually, we'll get Steffi Diggs going. I think I can actually wait. I'm going to try to set up some possible stacks. Tight end. Kelsey there. No. Don't want to do that. Swift, no running. All right, I'm doing my guy, Ricky Pearsall, and we're going to try to set up some stacks. All right, I'm working on something. This will all depend on what happens on the next round, but I am working on something. But in the meantime, damn it, Fact 74, triple stud QB, what are you doing? There's no quarterbacks left because of this. All right, JPZ with Swift. Any dead drafts so far? Not really. Brock Bowers, I like that. I like that pick, B-dubs. And I love Malik Neighbors. I love him in this format. Metcalf, this is a good start, B-dubs. I'm just thinking strengthen up those running backs here at some point, like don't ignore those guys. Those two guys are old. Let's see what's going on at the running back position. Pacheco. I mean, there's not much left. Now we're about to hit the backup. Pacheco is like the last of the probable starters, and we're in the backup zone here after that. Caleb's nice. Oh, I forgot to put Caleb on my rankings. Yeah, I like Caleb there. Liddy, back on the clock. Can you get any more pieces to go along with that Mayfield stack? Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's really interesting this year. Like, what if he's good? What if Cooper Kupp is good? Get him 4 rounds after Devontae Adams. Adams is going to be good. I will tell you that just right off the bat. I know it. I feel it. Fact 74, don't feel too bad, man. I can't tell you how many throwaway drafts I do, especially when I'm not, even live streaming, because you're not fully paying attention to what's going on. And then when I'm not streaming, I just do one, and then I get distracted, and that always happens. I'll just be distracted, and then next thing I know, 5 picks went auto drafted. But make sure to download. There are a couple things you could do for the auto draft. First of all, Fact 74, you could download my rankings and just upload them. Right, that'll switch it up for you and kind of be a little different than the standard. Right, you just download, upload the rankings, all good. Right, DFS Army, you go to right here, DFS Army season-long fantasy football, and you can grab my rankings, just upload it direct to DraftKings. Another thing is DraftKings allows you to set total numbers for how many QBs, wide receivers, how many players of each position group you want. DraftKings actually allows you to set those limits, so you could just come in and say, hey, I don't want more than X number of quarterbacks and so on and so forth. So I think if you're allowing an auto draft, there is some automation that you could program. I don't do them. I don't like an auto draft at all, but it's a different way to go. So B-Dub's got the 3 wide receivers, got that 4th wide receiver, Igbuga. I was kind of thinking, I'm a little surprised here that Liddy, I thought you'd go for Igbuga there with that Mayfield combo. You got Godwin. I thought you'd go for Igbuga. Went with Hawkinson instead. Okay. Hey, to each their own. Try to build up those stacks. Remember, Darnell Mooney. Another player, Darnell Mooney. Man, this guy was pretty good last year when he was healthy. I think he's going to have a big year. I think he's a great best ball piece. Look at all these double-digit scores. I mean, when it's not working out, it's usually pretty bad, but who cares? That's what I'm saying. It's best ball. We're only going to use him when he pops. So I like Darnell. I like Darnell where you took him there, whoever this guy is. Justin. Jalen Warren goes. Isaiah Pacheco, a full round later. So, I like Pacheco there as well. Josh Downs, big year coming. Big year ahead for Downs. He took Evan Ingram. We're on deck. So, a couple things. I've got something planned here. All right. I had this planned, and we're just going to go with it. I'm going to double tap QBs here. We're going to get Fields, and then, man, I can go May, or I can go May or Purdy, Let's go Drake May. Let's keep it young. He's at 116. Actually, 104. I could probably wait. You know what? I could probably wait. Let's see. No, fuck it. Let's just do it. May. Bam. All right. I double tapped my QBs. I'm done at QB now. Got it done. Didn't like what I was seeing here at running back. Wide receiver still looks pretty decent. That's Steffi Diggs in there. Still some good ones. What's the story with Ayuk? Isn't expected for training camp. Work back from ACL and MCL. So he had an ACL, MCL. I feel like he made it to week 7. It's usually a 10, 11-month injury. It's going to be interesting to see if Ayuk can make it back in time for the start of this upcoming season. So again, getting back to what I was talking about at the beginning, obviously we're we were talking a little bit about the QB position. And again, some of the names I mentioned with big upside this year, 2 of them I put on this team, almost to emphasize that point, right? Justin Fields, new team. Justin Fields on a points per dropback basis was right up there with the other stud QBs last year. Again, on a shitty team, but we got that 35-pointer out of him. When he was needed, he was able to get it done. I think the Jets will run this guy a lot more than the Steelers did. Yeah, so Justin Fields really interesting. Lots of upside. Again, on a Jets team that is probably not, it's not as good as the Steelers. The Steelers play slow defense. The Jets maybe going to play that way too, but maybe not. But backing him up, we got Drake May, young, up-and-coming stud QB. I think he's the next guy that we're all going to be excited about. We're already excited about Jaden, so he's not the next guy. Him and Bo Nix have the arrow pointing up. But look at the rushing yards. Again, I really love how much this kid runs and how he's not really looked at as a running QB. Look at these rushing yard numbers. Like, the passing was horrible last year because, look at these, the yardage totals, 220, 210, 250. Got some 280s and 270s in there. I'm looking at the yardage, not the touchdown numbers. Look at the yardage totals. But they didn't have anything going on at wide receiver last year. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Unclear who the starting wide receiver was. They had nothing. They add Stephon Diggs. They add a rookie wide receiver to the mix. Diggs alone, that improves the room. Plus, you give Drake May another year of starting experience. To me, it's a good scene. It's a good situation for Drake May there. I think he's going to elevate from where he was last year. So we'll add a third quarterback later on. But for now, we've got our 2 stacks built. If I could build the problem with Justin Fields is there's really not much to build around on the Jets. There's not anybody else. You got Garrett Wilson. That's fine. We'll try to grab the tight end. As far as Drake May goes and the stacks, same thing. I'll try to grab the tight end. We'll try to grab Hunter Henry at some point later on. Kyle Williams, the other wide receiver. But there's some other cheap wide receivers, I'd say, that all tie in with Drake May that we can target a little bit later on in this draft as well. So there'll be some stuff we can do as far as that goes. Let's see here. Just sort by ADP. I like to have it sorted by ADP, so I'm kind of in this zone of seeing where the field likes some of these players. Running back room, pretty much done at this point. There's some great backups floating around still for later, but all the starters that I'm interested in are gone, so we'll just worry about backups. Let's see here. Tight end group is really, really thinning out. Again, another dropper for me. Jonnu Smith, he doesn't even belong there. Tucker Kraft is not a premium player. Kincaid is not. So none of those guys are worth any kind of an early pick. We'll worry about tight ends a little later. Let's go with another theme that I've got going this year. I'm just going to see if there's anybody here that kind of ties in with the stack. But I want to go with Keon Coleman. Let's take a look at our group here. We've got 2 QB, 3 running back, 5 wide receiver. You don't get to pick for a while when you pick on the end like this. It's not the easiest situation to be in when it comes to, trying to get your shit figured out, so to speak. But yeah, go Mims Jr. there. Not tied into anything, but I think it's a little too soon to reach for, some of these Kyle Williams types that I think will be there, in the next round. So we'll wait on that a little bit. See if we get him on the next one. Get that stack going. So later on, I'm going to try to build some stacks around these quarterbacks. I'll try to get Hunter Henry. We'll try to get the Jets rookie. That you can get him super late. I don't really like the rest of these tight ends. The tight end group has got me concerned. Yeah, listen, when you're not in the draft with me, I can get him. Normally, when you're in these drafts with me, you're taking them like 3 rounds sooner. Messing me up. Messing up my stuff. Where are we? Okay. So, yeah, jump back over to the big draft board here, see what everybody's doing. Wagwan. All right, so B-dubs back on the clock. No quarterbacks on that team. It's time. Get some correlative quarterbacks going. Can't play out a season without one. There you go. Oh, still nothing. Go with the tight end. Second tight end. Fact with the old Javonte Jaden Blue. Double tap. Get the backup. Get the maybe. I don't know what's going on with the hopium stuff, man. What is up with that? They don't respect the hopium. I'm looking for this banner. Put the sharp banner up instead. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. The hopium shirt is fire. There goes Janu Smith again. Not in love with that pick. Just new team, new situation. Not great. But the tight ends are pretty weak right here. Tajay Spears for Soups. Spears was coming on strong at the end of last year. A lot of receptions. Tajay Spears might be a sneaky sleeper. Really strong finish to the season. I don't even think Pollard was hurt. I just think he came on strong at the end. So, give him some credit there. Tajay Spears. Soups gets J.K. Dobbins. We talked about at the onset. You get him for pretty cheap for a guy who now appears to be getting set up to be the starter on his team, right? Tattoo was cursing me. We gotta get all that. Yeah, show that merch store. Pollard was hurt at the end of last year. Is that what happened? Like Tajay. So I guess let me look at Pollard. Where's Pollard? All right, let's see what happened. So, all right, there we go. Yeah, end of the season. Pollard was playing those games. No, he wasn't hurt. Wasn't hurt. Wait, I was just talking about Tattoo. What the hell were you mad about? I forgot. Lost my train of thought. But no, I don't know that Pollard was. I mean, maybe one game looks like week 17 he didn't play, but he played week 15, 17 carries. Week 18, 22 carries. Spears was hurt early and definitely came back, but it seemed like Pollard was out there. Let's see, week 17, I guess, was all right. And he didn't do that great on week 17. And then he's out week 18. But week 16, Pollard played. Week 15, Pollard played. And yet, Spears had these monster games. So, I don't know. All right, I'll be up on the clock in a second here, so I need to pay attention. Let's see. All right, we'll take Taylor for the jet stack. Who's the other one I wanted? Hunter Henry. He goes 170. We're at 128 right now, so don't need to take him yet. How about Brenton Strange? All right, double tapped the tight ends. We didn't have enough of them. All right, let's see what's going on. So at wide receiver right now, running back. Oh boy, I forgot to do that. So we've got 3 running backs: Barkley, Brown, Chuba. Good trio. Great. We got Garrett Wilson, George Pickens, Steffi Diggs, Ricky Pearsall, Keon Coleman, Marvin Mims. A nice little group of wide receivers. Oh yeah. I was gonna. Oh, that's what it was. Tattoo was mad at me because I traded you J.K. Dobbins last year, and then you said I traded you a dud when he lost his team, and now J.K. Dobbins, the starter again. So now you're not. Hey, that trade is looking a lot better for you. You were hating on me, like Kevin ripped me off. Sold me a dud here in J.K. Dobbins. Well, he's back. There goes Kyle Williams. Oh, I should have taken him. Totally forgot. That's what happens when I get off into a tangent. I totally forgot that Kyle Williams was on my target list for this next round. So now I don't have that big stack. We'll see. Messed up my big stack. My own fault for not paying close attention to what I was doing. All right. Continue to look at this draft board here. So Kyle Williams goes. We're getting to the part of the draft here where you kind of get these, hopium plays, high upside plays. I like, it's a good spot to be in. Still lots of good players. So at this point in the draft, I'm just looking for names that will just be contributing to my team, right? Looking at the QB position, sort by ADP. Okay, it's thinning out. Doubt that there'll probably be maybe one more left by the time it comes around to my picks again that like is acceptable. Running back group, yeah, a lot of the good ones, even the good backups are pretty well gone here, and we're in the third zone of probably never going to play type names. So these running backs are not going to probably contribute to your team unless a significant injury happens. So we're in the backup zone, the real backup zone. Wide receiver group, still some good ones floating around as well. Nothing really tied super big to my stacks, but there are definitely some names here that I think will still contribute. You got Tillman, of course, Wandy Robinson, somebody I always like to get, PPR machine. Dubs has his big games here and there. You got Demario Douglas, maybe still starting for New England. I don't know. Pat Bryant, the rookie for Denver. Calvin Austin has some buzz out of Pittsburgh as possibly the WR2. And now De'Ami Brown may be moving up as somebody who'll be more utilized in Jacksonville. I definitely think De'Ami is an interesting upside target, right? Wide receiver, tight end group. Again, wow, we came all the way around, and they're all still kind of there. Cam Ward just goes, so we've got Lawrence, Bryce Young, and then basically backups. So still a couple of starting QBs floating around, and again, the running back group looks thin and gross. Yeah, I don't like that. So, but a couple of good wide receivers. Okay, all right, let's see what happens here. All right, you're gonna leave me. Ooh. They did eat up all those QBs. And now we have to make a choice. I don't like it. So I do like some of these wide receivers. Wandy, I always like to put him on my teams. Tight end group, Hunter Henry. I need to get this combo going with Drake May. So now we've built out our Drake May stack. I've got May with Diggs and Hunter Henry. I like the trio. Fine by me. Had to kind of jump and take Hunter Henry there. I still liked, Cedric Tillman, fairness, at wide receiver. I would have taken him, but I wanted to make sure I got that stack going instead. There's Waller. Look at his ADP. Okay. He's up to 186. I think he belongs there. Ahead of Freiermuth. Yeah. Okay. Can't complain. Can't argue with that. All right, I've got 7 wide receivers, 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, and 3 tight ends. So going forward, I probably need to add some running back talent. I probably need another QB. We'll see if that happens. It might be too late, and we might have to just roll with our duo. Let's see. When are the bye weeks for Drake May and Fields? I hope it's not the same. It's not the same. Cool. And not that it matters. Managing bye weeks is less important to me, I think, in this format than it would be, for example, in the Eliminator, where you get it one bye week, you're done, you're eliminated. Here, you might lose, all right, lose some points, but can still overcome it. So, a little different. Big difference between DraftKings and Underdog is just how many rounds there are. You get a few more players. Oh, did you mention Tattoo that trade? I was like, man, I don't know if this is a fair trade. I don't want to rip anybody off. I was like worried about the trade, but now I feel good about it. Now I feel good. Yeah, we're in the sort of the late part of the draft here. Soups with just 1 quarterback. Lamar, it's enough. Take Demario Douglas there. Getting into these sort of super backup types. The kind of players here that we're taking are probably not going to play that much. There's Keenan Allen. We talk about him a lot as, if he makes it onto a team, Keenan Allen should be great. Like if he just makes the team, Keenan Allen probably going to have a good year. Roshan, premium, I would call it. Premium backup. Roshan, premium backup player. Premium handcuff for Swift. Swift is out. Roshan is getting in there and doing his thing. All right, we're coming up on another pick. Again, QB is toast. RB group looking thin. There's some backup types here. Tight ends, pretty thin. Still some decent wide receivers. So I think that's where I want to go. Maybe grab one of these wide receivers. And definitely grab a running back or two. Maybe I'll just double tap running back here and just get two more and fill it out, and then just pick up some of these turdly wide receivers a little later. JPZ542, are you in here with us? Is that somebody who's drafting with us here? Let's see. Marshawn Lloyd is the backup for Jacobs. Don't mind that. Take Calvin Austin. He's got some upside. Or should we go De'Ami Brown? Yeah, fuck it. We talked about it on the onset. Let's go De'Ami. If I had a correlative pick here, I would have done it. But nothing really correlates with my quarterbacks anyway. So, whatever. Most of the time I take Calvin Austin in that spot. All right, back to the drawing board. Yeah, with Allen, I mean, the minute you hear any buzz about him, it's going to be too late. So I feel like, yeah, why not? Grab Keenan Allen. Can't hurt. What can happen? How bad can it be? Can it hurt? Probably not. Can't hurt. Yeah, Yoshivas, I don't know about all that either. Some of these picks, I guess it's late, but Yoshivas is one of those names that, guys, I'm not really on it. I think they're going to change it up, Burton, get a little younger, get a little different. See? Well, that is a concerning comment. I didn't hear this. I didn't hear about this comment, Martin. So that's news to me. I want to play with one of the LA teams, Chicago or retire. Which LA team would really be a candidate for him? The Rams? Yeah. Okay. The Chargers? Sure. Go back to the Chargers? That would just make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? The problem with Keenan Allen is he pretty much plays the same position as Ladd McConkey. So are they really going to take him back to the Chargers? Doubt it. If Chicago brings him back, that really that'll be fine for him, but that'll mess up a lot of other things. So, yeah. I guess we'll see. But if he does get a job, he's going to be somebody you're happy you drafted this late in the draft. Notice here we're getting to the point beyond like the underdog player list. So we're getting to that really deep version of the player pool. There goes Richardson, right? Really deep sleepers type names. I do think the monies can be made here if you do the right thing. Like there are players that are still good that will be productive, give you a week, hand you a win. I'm sure there's a running back in this group that will start games this season. One of these names might start a game or two, might, help you win a game in fantasy. It's just a question of which one, guessing right. Somebody would be helpful. definitely wide receivers still available that will be on the field and have a chance. You like Mac Hollins? Give him a star. We're going to save Mac for that last pick in the last round, though. Let's see, running backs. I'll grab another backup running back here. I've only got 4 running backs on my team so far. The QBs are done. There's no one who is probably going to get any time on the field. Maybe Shook. I don't even know that he's the definite starter for New Orleans, but even if he does start, I highly doubt he'll be getting us good games. Yeah, Dante Thornton, I think now is actually a reach taking him necessarily. I think it flipped. All right, I'm going to take Blake Corum because he's a true backup. He's a backup running back. Guy gets hurt, he's probably the guy who's starting. Another guy kind of liking a little bit late this year. I wish I could get somebody correlative, but we can't. Not here. Scroll down. No, so let's go Coker. Played a little bit last year. And on my last round, if I can, I'll grab Mac Hollins for that final spot. Look at the rest of the draft board here as it goes through. So these picks are just kind of boring. Burton, fine. Jay Peasy. I've gone up against him before. I'm wondering if he's in the chat here because that name seems super familiar. Art Vandelay. Everybody remember who Art Vandelay was? What's with the Hunter Renfrow? Explain this to me. I'm seeing a lot of people grabbing Hunter Renfrow and something. This guy has even played? Did he even play last year? Why are people excited about him in Carolina? I don't really get it. Soups, explain it. I don't get it. I'm seeing him getting picked. I don't understand it. Taysom Hill, not going to play. So, people get really crazy in these last couple rounds on this draft and just kind of take anything. Krosky, the 7th round rookie running back there. Elijah Mitchell, interesting for KC. That one's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'm not buying the whole Hunter Renfrow thing, but he's also, that's a very, Art Vandelay, remember that? And is that what's going on? There's something going on that people kind of touted Hunter Renfrow. I'm glad I'm glad I don't partake in a lot of these content pieces. I really like to keep my ideas my own. So hopefully, that allows us to kind of maybe be mildly unique compared to what all the quote bros are doing. Let's see here. I've got 3 tight ends. I can get a 4th one. I get a 4th tight end going. I don't mind it. You know what? It's so unlikely to get a good score from a tight end. When you have 4 of them, then if they have a good score 10% of the time, well, now half the time I'll get a good score because I have 4 of them. Yeah, still some decent tight ends left. Not really great ones, but Ben Sinnott floating around. When Ertz gets hurt, and he will, Ben Sinnott will be there. Wide receiver group usually this late. Yeah, Westbrook Akine still on the board. Valdez-Scantling, Noah Brown. Couple decent ones. Running back group, not much here. Taj Brooks, the rookie. Taj Brooks backing up Joe Mixon. Cam Akers kind of backing up the backup player there. Cam Akers pretty good. Luke McCaffrey, I don't know. He hasn't really shown much, but year 2 wide receiver / kind of slash player. You never know. I'm going for the Mac Hollins pick, even though I kind of think Jatavian Sanders is a better pick. What's cool about Mac Hollins is it does function as a stack, and no one will have it. So this GPP only, super GPP. This is where you get your GPP only guys. Names that no one else will have. So when you draft them, hey, I'm like the only one. Westbrook Akine, he's one of those names. Give me him with my last pick. Yeah. Very playable. Very playable. All right. Little recap here. We had our draft. Few people from the chat in here. At least four of you guys are in this draft with us. While I do a little kind of like overview, think about should we do another DraftKings or should we jump to our Eliminator and get an Eliminator in? I feel like that's what I want to do. I feel like I want to go back over to Underdog and get another Eliminator, and we need as many Eliminator entries as we can have. We want to have a ton of that. You know what? We're doing that. Fuck it. It's my show. Doing it. Go back to the Eliminator. Do I have money in here? Yes. Okay, good. All right. So a little recap here. I started very heavy. Yeah, and the faster is actually important here. It took a full hour to do this one. So we'll just go. You know what? I reviewed a lot of these drafts as they were happening. I don't really want to do it again. I went running back heavy early, kind of got my stacks in with May. Fields got Fields in there with Wilson. I got Drake May in here with Steffi Diggs, Hunter Henry, and even Mac Hollins at the end. So I really feel good about those stacks. I got the running backs I need. Lots of wide receivers. Got my super stud Pearsall, Coleman. We love the second year wide receivers. Fact came in here and just loaded up on QBs early. Got all the studs. Fact is going to be, leaving stud QB scores on the bench all season long here. So not the best of jobs there. B-Dubs, the opposite. B-Dubs, bro. I got to talk to you, man. I'm actually going. Hold on. I wish I could zoom in. B-Dubs, you waited too long at QB. Holy shit. I mean, I like Geno, but Geno, Russell, Wilson, and Joe Flacco? What the fuck? What the hell's going on here? You need a Joe Flacco miracle. Oh, there's a puppy too. Just open up. You need a Joe Flacco miracle on this squad. Could happen. But like the rest of it looks awesome. Waited too long at QB. Right here. I was saying it live. When you're taking Loveland, this is where you need to be taking QBs. Even Ayuk, didn't need Ayuk. Could have taken, Penix, Herbert. Too long. Igbuga could have had Justin Fields, Drake May. Waited too long. It's weird when you have Malik Neighbors and like maybe you're trying to get McLaurin and Jaden Daniels on a team, but then Fact just went crazy, took all the QBs, and there was nothing left. Could have taken Mahomes here. So, yeah, a little mess up there. Fact, I'm not going to get into that one. Liddy 8, who has not been in the draft with us, we'll do a quick thought here, but got Puka, Derrick Henry, Breece Hall. I love the start. Godwin, fine with Mayfield. Could have taken Igbuga right here instead of Hawkinson, but you want Hawkinson, that's fine. Purdy and Stafford, almost overkill. Stafford with Adams. Purdy really unstacked, so I don't know. Is there Kittle on this team or something? I probably wouldn't have done the Purdy thing. You got Mayfield. I think this is overkill, personally. Too many tight ends too soon. Braylon Allen, solid. So, yeah, there's a couple little adjustments I might have made. Primarily, I think sacrificing maybe, let's see, who could have been, instead of, let's say, Purdy here, which was not necessary, who else could you have gotten? Mason, Javonte. I mean, yeah, everything else was looking pretty sketch. Pittman, Mims, Coleman. So Ayuk. I mean, there's definitely some players here that were decent that could have been taken ahead of Purdy. Or if you're taking Purdy, I don't think you need to do Stafford right afterwards. So again, that would be my only little nugget of criticism. Otherwise, really good looking draft, Liddy, especially the start of it. I love this. I kind of like this open quite a bit. I know. I mean, no one's planning on 3. You know what? I could even get on board with 2 stud quarterbacks in like your first 8 picks. I have it's the third guy that messes it up a little bit. All right, let's jump back over to Underdog. Can't let a day go. Can't let a day go without getting an eliminator. But let's see what's going on here. They added a new puppy too. Is that what's going on? They just added a new puppy too. Any super flex? Did they get? No. Where's our super flex? Still no super flex. Guys, no super flex option as of yet. We've done a bunch of Greyhound. No, we didn't do the Greyhound, but we've done a bunch of done some marathons. We've done some sprints. We've done a Corgi. Let's go back to the Eliminator. Back to my favorite. You got to get one eliminator in every single day. The more of these you have, the more happy we're going to be at the end of the year. You want as many entries in the eliminator as you could possibly get. Here we go. I am entering it. Eliminator. Plenty of open spots, guys. Get in there. Let's do this. 6 of us. 12 men enter. 6 men leave round 1. 6 people get through the first, and then you're matched up head-to-head every single week in an elimination until it gets down to a final 3 at the very end. Why do I say you need a lot? You're going to need some luck. It's not just about getting past week 1, week 2. We're going to need luck in these head-to-heads. You can't just get there. You need a little bit of luck, a little bit of fortune. We're almost full. So this looks like a Draft-a-Palooza heavy group that we are going to be seeing. It's a Palooza. Let's go. Got to Palooza it up. Here we go. How many spots left? We are full. Oh, there we go. We are full. Okay, so let's see who's in here. Draft-a-Palooza it with us in the Eliminator. I'm just going to look for names that I recognize. And then we're going to switch it up and we'll show the draft board. But there's Tattoo Freak. What's up? Picking second. Fact is in here with us. You got accounts everywhere. I love it. Don't do that 3. That's a little too many quarterbacks. Soup's at the turn as well. Hawkberg, is that one of our people? Don't know. If you're not signed up at Underdog and you want to get an account here and get a deposit match, promo code DFS Army gets you up to a $200 deposit match on your first deposit. So if you're like, hey, I want to participate in these, promo code DFS Army, and it gets you a $100 deposit match. All right, I'm going to set up the big board. Hang on. Yeah, this time watch your cue. Don't make mistakes. Definitely don't want all those. So in this format, guys, hang on. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to present. I'm going to share the window, right? This is what I want. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. Get that sized just right. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm up next. Again, this format is very much very friendly to running backs. I do like to go heavy running back early, but I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go Lamb in round 1, and then we'll get crazy with the running backs. Then we'll get crazy with the running backs as the draft moves on. So I took CeeDee Lamb. Normally, I do go running back heavy in this contest. This is the first time I think I've gotten even a first round without taking running back. I don't mind even Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, 1.7 where you took him just now. Fact. So, yeah, this is a format. Remember, this is full PPR or half point PPR. So this format is going to favor touchdowns. Players like Derrick Henry, who are touchdown scorers, significantly over PPR guys. It's just how it works. It's just how the format is. And when you skip that first round running back on underdog, the rest of your draft really does look a little sketch. We'll get the feel for it here. So this will be one of the very few that I didn't take a RB in round one. Maybe the only eliminator, one or two for me so far. But we'll have so many that, it's fine. There goes Amon Ra, pick 2-3. Bucky Irving. So Soups with the Janty Irving double tap. Again, just note the difference. Bucky Irving is somebody who lasts until the end of round 2 on DraftKings, and even mid-round 2 here on the standard format for this contest for underdog. But in the Eliminator, people just want to get that early start with some stud running backs, get past week 1. Got to get past week 1, guys. Then we worry about week 2. All right. So, of course, you're going to leave me Chase Brown, Chabrizi. I need my running back here. I will say, though, that I considered Brock Bowers. I thought about Josh Jacobs. I thought about Rashee Rice. Tattoo, you wanted Bowers there? I thought about Jacobs with my pick. I'm fine with that. I think this makes sense to me, Diego, because, all right, I'll give you 2 reasons why that doesn't blow my mind that much. Let's think about the situation with Blue versus Scatterboo. Number 1, Scatterboo's on a garbage team where it's super unlikely that even if he was good and he took over the role, that he would get Rookie of the Year. Just the Giants are shit and they're not going to score that often, or at least that's the perception. So specifically for Rookie of the Year, there's that. Also, Scatterboo has what I would consider to be kind of an established starter ahead of him on the Giants in Tyrone Tracy. For as much as everybody wants to shit on Tyrone Tracy beat out Devin Singletary last year as the starter. He out-talented Devin Singletary to get that role, right? So he is an established starter, much more so than what we have going on in Dallas, where we have effectively a failed starter in Miles Sanders, who has failed everywhere he's turned. He's been a failure, Miles Sanders, right? So he's failed everywhere. And we have Javonte Williams, who no one is confident with. So I think the odds makers are saying, hey, there's probably a more clear path for someone like Blue to first beat out those 2 starters, and second, to be on a team where if he does become the starter, maybe he can get there. Yeah, see, Tyrone Tracy is good. That's part of the problem. Meanwhile, we are coming up on round 3. I've got 1 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 studs at wide receiver, but only 1 running back so far. We've got some making up to do and some splaining to do. So, Rel Fantasy, great question. This is the Eliminator. And the way that this one works, half of the field is eliminated every single week. So, of course, we're on underdog where touchdowns are king. We want to get off to a, quote, fast start with our players here because half the field is gone, including half of the people who are drafting in this draft against us, right? they will be gone quickly. So half the field every single week. So generally what I do in the Eliminator is I assume we need 3 really, really solid starting running backs on our team, holding down the fort, getting us through the first few weeks of the season, need touchdown scorers. So we need those players in the RB slots, put up numbers for us. This is half-point PPR, so it favors Kamara types a little bit less than what DraftKings does. Kenny Walker is the kind of guy that, yeah, his production is really good here on Underdog. But again, we want these guys scoring for us early in the season. We need to get past the first few weeks. If you just make it to week 4 in this format, you're in the money. You got your money back. Week 3, after you get through it, by the time you're in week 4, we've gone from week 1, you go from 100% of the field down to 50. Week 2, down to 25. By week 3, we're in the top 25. So all you need to actually do is get through your first 2 weeks of the season in this format, and you're in the money. You've gotten your money back. Then after that, we start to whittle it down and whittle it down. Each week is a one-on-one contest against a randomly selected opponent, which brings the luck factor into it. Bye weeks are really important. You don't want to have stacked bye weeks. You don't want your buys to overlap at all. Because, or if you're going to do it, make sure you push those bye weeks out to much later in the season. Overlapping buys, though, are a big no-no. So that's the format that we're playing in. You've got it every single week is the playoffs. One slip up and you're donezo. Bye. You made a mistake. You done fucked up. You done fucked up. You know that, don't you? Like once you mess up, you messed up. No turning back. So that's what the format is. I tend to play it very, very heavy running back. So when I look at this format, I say, you know what's going to win it? Somebody who has stud running backs that are scoring for them every single week, right? In both running back spots and in the flex, you want running backs doing it. I think you start getting paid after week 3. So it's week 3. If you even get to week 3, you kind of might get paid, but it's definitely after week 3. By week 4, you're down to the top 12% only. So you're already in the elite group. Again, week 5 down to 6%, week 6, 3, week 7, 1.5. Right? What you'll note though is the difference between ending in week 3 or week 7, not that big of a dollar difference. Because there's not that big of a difference in DFS between finishing 20th percentile or 2 percentile, which is fucked up, but that's how DFS works. Once you get past week 3 or 4, now we need to really get to weeks 11, 12, 13 to get into the big money. You definitely should not do that. Why would you want to get to it? You got to play in week 14. We're trying to win it. So we still want to win. All right. So because I started slow at running back, I did 4 running backs. I loaded up. I don't really get who would say such a thing. Don't you want to win the whole thing? Like week 14 buys, you're still playing in week 14 in this contest. Unless I'm tripping, you're still playing in week 14. Guys, am I wrong about that? Have I misread something? But the late buy, so you might be thinking, well, if I get to week 14, I'm happy. No, if once you're at week 14, you're trying to win the whole thing. I think what will happen with the reason I want a lot of entries into this is because I think what's going to happen with these head-to-heads is there's a luck factor that you just need a lot of bullets in order to get past. And the luck factor being, it runs all 17. So if you stack buys, then okay, if you want to accept being gone in week 14, why would you want to do that? Once I get to week 14, now I'm up against kind of a diminished group of opponents. You understand what I'm saying? Like by week 14, if you don't have the bye week stacked and your opponent does, hey, I'm getting to week 15. And now I'm up against just like 30, 50, 30 people left. Like you're down in the very end. So those are actually the most important weeks to build a good lineup for. It's the opposite. You almost want to avoid the week 14 buys. Let your opponent have those buys and get to week 15. But stacking buys in general is a nightmare in this format. Any kind of not scoring, even for 1 week, and you're done. Yeah. Hopefully we're strategizing really well. By the way, when you look at the recap of this, of a lot of the drafts that we've done so far, there's almost always a couple of people who draft really stupid. So it's very, very common in this format that these guys are not drafting appropriate for the format. We'll get into that at the end. But people are not really fully grasping how this one works. I'm seeing 0 RB, which will not work here. I'm seeing some like, hey, let me rely on, late season injury. That's not going to work. You got to get there in this format. So one of the cool things I like about the Eliminator has been that in this contest, a lot of these people are just kind of used to drafting standard, what I would call, standard, how to put it, standard underdog teams, which are designed with correlation for like a big run in the playoffs. And so people have a hard time getting out of that headspace that I have to build stacks and I need to match my QBs up with my players and all of that. That is not the case in this contest at all. You don't need to match up your quarterback with any players on your team. You just need to put a good, solid, well-rounded, quote, cash lineup together that will get you through the week. I don't need a big score. I just need to get to next week. You don't need a monster score. That doesn't mean I don't want players who could put up a big number. I do, but I don't need a big score per se. I'm going to get weird here with Kelsey, who's in good shape, supposedly. Yes, in this format, I am absolutely cool with handcuffing. I want you to handcuff in this format. It is better. So unlike effectively every other style of contest where I think stacking is a disaster, I actually think stacking in this format is totally fine. Like I have James Conner, and if Benson is there and at a point where I could have gotten him, where I can get him, I would like to try to do that. So again, I'm treating this as a cash game. I'm treating this as a game where I just want to get through. I don't need a big score. I don't need the biggest score of the week. I just need a decent score. Like Brandon Ayuk, not a good play here because he might not play the first week. That's what I'm saying. Like some of these guys, they might not play the first week. So really, what are we doing? Getting a guy didn't help me get past week 1. We'll do a full draft sort of like thing here. I want to see if anybody's fucking up their draft. Made a big stupid mistake. I'm not really doing that right now because I actually want to concentrate on my draft here. I actually, there's going to be a recap, so I don't want to like completely ignore the drafts I'm doing. At the end of the year, I want to see how many of these we can get. Like I know everybody's going to be curious how we did in this contest. Everybody's going to be curious. Yeah, the problem is, you get to week 14. If I get to week 14, I want to go all the way to week. I want to win it. So I don't want to set up a team that's designed to lose in week 14. While it's awesome to get there, I'm playing the. I just don't. Yeah, I don't think it's helpful to that approach of like setting up all your buys. I just don't think that's a good thing to do. I want to avoid overlapping buys. I want to have as many outs as I can every single week. I want to go up against players who didn't do that. So my hope is that I'm going to get these one-on-ones against opponents who, like, I luck box into the guy who has a bunch of week 7 buys on week 7. Like, it usually doesn't work out that way. Yes, you have to play this exactly like a cash game. You just need to get past the week. You don't need a big score. There's no benefit for putting up a 200 when a 125 gets you through to the next round. There's no benefit. So you don't have to build it with correlation in mind at all. You just have to build a solid, well-rounded team with enough running backs that you don't have no one starting for you. We don't miss out on a QB start. You don't fuck up and all your quarterbacks have a bye week on week 1 and blah, 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 and it's done. Right? So no mistakes. I feel like I got to get another QB here. Let's go Goff. I mean, I don't love Goff, but I'll just do it. Sharps. Wide receivers, I only have 3. And tight ends, I'm light. So that's where we're going to be focused on for the next few picks. Tattoo, what now? What now? You're hoping for Barton? Yeah, so in this format, again, there's no benefit. We want to get past the week, right? So I got Fields and Goff in there. Kind of, a big score from your quarterback does help you get through, but every time you take a quarterback, you're sacrificing, a stud position player that you could have gotten in that spot. I remain kind of thin at wide receiver, so that's a little bit of where I'm kind of trying to build right now. Now, I told you don't need stacks. Don't worry about stacking your quarterback or correlation in this format. Do not worry about it. It doesn't hurt you if you have it, but it doesn't really help that much. It's not something you need to worry about. Don't even concern yourself with it. That's what I'm saying. Don't worry about that. Does not matter. All we're trying to do is build a well-rounded, good team. You don't want zeros. If you have zeros coming, like if you don't have enough wide receivers that you're getting that 10 or 12 from every 14, those kind of scores from every spot, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have a hard time advancing. Same thing at tight end. If you don't have enough tight end action that you can get like those double-digit scores, that's going to hurt you much more than the difference between getting a 28 or a 25 or a 22 versus a 20 from your quarterback. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the whole reason we like this contest, Tattoo, because everybody's maybe even worrying too much about correlation and stacking where it's just not going to help you win in this format. That's not what wins it. What wins it here is having players scoring for you every single week. Get past the week. Get a solid score in there. Don't be stupid. Don't get cute. Just play good players and have enough bye week diversification that you don't get destroyed by a bye week. For example, like right here, I literally on my team only have 2 wide receivers that are alive and playing in week 12. 2 guys are on bye. So if I don't get more wide receivers, I'm not going to make it. Oh, yeah, you left me Trey Benson, my cuff. Again, I don't mind handcuffing in this format. This is where you want to handcuff. Now, with Benson in there, I know that one of Benson or Connor, I have the starting running back for the Cardinals locked down. That's it. I know that. Got Chase Brown in there, Joe Mixon, Caleb Johnson. I should have 2 running backs going for me every week just because of that. That's it. Hell yeah, I took Benson. Are they scared of the Eliminator? I don't know. I find the Eliminator less scary than the other contest. So, listen, I don't know. I think people don't want to. I do think that there's a thing where people don't want to learn a different approach, right? They're like, hey, I do underdog drafts and I do underdog drafts, and I don't want to do it. I have 0. I did not do any entries last year in this contest. None. Oh, I'm on the clock. Shit. Oops, wasn't paying attention. I didn't do any entries in this contest last year, but I did study what worked and what didn't work. And, that's where I come up with my approach. Well, ask me, though, at the end of this year, how many of these go through. And we'll find out. Like, all I can do is come up with a theory, play it, and then see what happens. And so that we're in that. We're in that. We're fucking around. Right now, we're fucking around right now. Pretty soon, we're going to find out. But right now, we're just in fuck around mode. Fuck around, and then find out. Yeah, I'm just looking at my my wide receiver group, and I got my quarterbacks, I got my running backs. It's all wide receivers and tight ends from here. So that's all I'm going to be doing. Wide receivers and tight ends. See if there's anybody good left to wide receiver. Great. Ideally with a bye week that doesn't overlap. Cool. Tight ends, same idea. They're really thinning out. Still some good ones, but they are thinning out real quick. So that might be what sinks me in this draft. Got Lamb, got Garrett Wilson, Debo, Mims. So it started off real strong at wide receiver, and then it kind of went downhill a little bit with Debo and Mims. Debo just being a guy on a new team, you never know. I think last round I kind of messed up. I should not have taken a QB right there. I needed to not do that. So like right after my QB pick, Hollywood Brown was available, Adam Thielen, Cedric Tillman, a whole pile of like decent wide receivers just went, and I think that I done fucked up. Even Hunter Henry, a decent tight end, went. So, and a bunch of other good tight ends. So I done fucked up. That last pick is probably going to cost me. Penix. Didn't need it. Don't need 3 QBs. Don't need them. Now we got to make up for lost time, so to speak. Speaking of some of that, any of you guys, like, what are your thoughts on Josh Palmer? I think Josh Palmer is not a good football player. Not excited about him this year. But at the same time, it's not like the Bills have a lot going on at tight end, so maybe. But I'm not super excited about him. Do I use certain? Yes. Get in there, man. I love it. You want to do some content? Great. I use something called StreamYard to do this live stream. StreamYard is powering all of what you see. I can do my screen share. I'm on screen here. There's a whole bunch of other shit that StreamYard can do. I'll show you an example. But like, let's say I was offended by you asking me about streams for some reason, or no, that wouldn't ever offend me. But let's say, wait, in a minute. Let me make my pick first, and then I'll talk about it. All right, we're on the clock. Again, we got wide receivers and tight ends is what we need. We got to get a tight end here. Let's just go Gesicki. But yeah, the software, pretty cool. If I'm offended by something you say in the chat, I might do one of these.
How dare you?
Little cool things we can do. StreamYard. Get in there. I'd encourage everybody. You want to do live stream some drafts, talk fantasy football. This is your passion like it is for me. I encourage you. Yeah. Go do it. Just got to get started. Do you have to pay? I believe it's free. You should not have to pay anything. There's a free version where you wouldn't have to pay anything, and it will let you screen share. So no, you don't have to pay anything. There's a premium version that has some cool features, but the free version works fine. And I see a lot of people using it. So we got our 3 quarterbacks. We've 5 running backs. We have now a little pile of wide receivers. Still need more wide receivers. Still need more tight ends. Don't need anything else. So I'm just going to activate wide receiver and tight end on screen here, see what's available. Yeah, still some decent wide receivers, fine. Tight end group, thinning out, but still okay. There'll always be tight ends available. There goes Waller. Let's take a look at my bye weeks and I really have very little bye week overlap, which is cool. Oh, tight ends are both overlapping, so that's a problem. Okay. Running backs not really overlapping too much. My my wide receiver group, I've got 2 guys in week 12, Debo and Mims. And of course, yeah, so I will still need another wide receiver, like a viable one. And I definitely need another viable tight end, as it turns out. Clearly, both my guys are week 10 buys. So I need 1 or 2 more. We're in 16, 17, 18. So we got 3 more picks to go here. Nothing looks too great from this spot, but I'm just going to grab a tight end. Week 11 buy so I can cover that week 10 situation. I still want a 4th tight end, actually, as crazy as this seems. I feel like if Kelsey starts slow, Juwan Johnson's not exactly inspiring confidence, and I still definitely need another wide receiver, maybe 2. So we'll see what we do with the last round, but I'm definitely going to get another wide receiver and another tight end to fill out this team. Right now I've got only 5 wide receivers, so I usually like to have 7. So normally I would take 2 more wide receivers. We'll see here, though. These guys are pretty late. A little turdly. Nothing super impressive. Yeah. Let's go with my standard guy, Calvin Austin. There we go. And then 1 more pick to go in this draft, and we'll dive in and get deep in there. Dive in deep. And then lunchtime. Late lunch. Starving. By the time we do our 2 drafts for the day, I'm starving every time. Every time. Standard. There goes Richardson. Let's see. QB group, no one left. Russell Wilson goes right till the end. I mean, you can still get Russ. Flacco. Running back group, looking through who's left. There's nothing. Blake Corum, a backup running back, still floating around. Wide receiver group, obviously Keenan Allen. We talked about him before. Tyler Lockett's floating around. Valdez Scantling, nothing great. Tight end group, man, they're mostly gone at this point. Terrence Ferguson from the Rams, still available. He's at the top of the queue. Ben Sinnott, who's kind of an interesting, tight end prospect. Ben Sinnott is more of a wait for injury guy. I don't like that. So this group, I could go Noah Gray and just back up Travis Kelce, but that just leaves me with that same weird bye week situation. All right. I can go with Keenan Allen and just hope he makes a team. There goes Taysom Hill. He's not going to play this year. That's completely useless in this format. At the end, we're going to look through everybody's draft and see if anybody fucked up, right? If anybody really messed up and left themselves with a dead team. Let's see. Almost always happens, but I haven't looked. I have not looked. It'll be a surprise. I'm going to go with Tyler Lockett for my last pick. And then let's see if anybody fucked up. Why are you saying sorry? Fact 74. Why are you saying sorry? Let's see. Let's see. Polak, I hope you're enjoying my red hat. My maroon DFS Army hat. Love this color. Loving it. Making fantasy football great. All right, you ready? Guys, let's take a quick look at everybody's draft here, see how everybody did. I really only see, I can only tell a couple of you guys being in here with me. So if anybody else is in here that I haven't noticed, I see Tattoo Freak, of course, myself. We've got Soups. Anybody else in here? Oh man, Fact 74 out getting oil change, you're sitting in the office on the Wi-Fi, and it's just getting crazy. All right, let's see what happens at the end here. We'll see. Wait, I'm not critiquing it yet, Fact 74. Hold up. Maybe it was good. But as far as I can tell, based on what's going on in the chat here, I'm assuming it's just the three of us in here together. Soups, Fact, Tattoo, and myself. So 4 out of the 12 teams. So let's see what everybody did. I'm even going to look at some of these random teams and see if anybody fucked this up. All right, so first guy, Barkley, Walker, Pacheco, got a trio of decent running backs there. Rice, Metcalf, K-Shack with Josh Allen. Again, a little bit too aggressively stacking here for this person, but overall, it's fine. Fine lineup. Tattoo. Chase got the bargain, right? Chase in that first pick. Jamar Chase, I don't know, right? Then we got Jacobs, Kyron, Kamara, trio of stud running backs, Jamo, Adunze, Myers with Jamar Chase, Bo Nix in there, solid QB, stacked with Evan Ingram on this, whatever. We got the backup. We got Ingram. We got 4 tight ends on this team. Josh Reynolds, good late pick. Oh, very sneaky. I like it on the Jets. Cute. Josh Reynolds, mental note. Probably the Jets WR2. Let's see. All right, this guy, CJ Daniel. All right, this one looks like trouble. Here we go. He got Bijan and Judkins. Bunch of studs in between. Fine. Godwin, Baker Mayfield, stack. Pushing for the stack. Igbuga, stack. Burden, stack. Tua. What did he forget to do? Get running backs. So this guy is going to have a hard time. Only Bijan and Judkins. And then a bunch of kind of like mid-level backups. This is half-point PPR. I don't think this is a winning approach. I do like that he has Brock Bowers, but and didn't spend time on tight end after Brock Bowers. I do not take schedule into effect at all, other than like if they're playing good teams. Critique mine. Clutch. It was my first ever draft, not expecting to win from the 1 spot. Okay, here we go. TG clutched. So you are in there with us. What's up? Yeah, I think this one's okay. Barkley, Walker, Pacheco, 3 starting running backs. That's how we want to come out. You got a backup for really got a bunch of extra running backs. That's fine. Solid on the tight ends. I think this is totally fine. The only area where I might have done different, once you had Josh Allen, you really didn't need Pat Mahomes as a quote premium QB pick. So where could you have gone differently instead of this Mahomes Ayuk thing? And Ayuk might not play week 1, week 2. I don't like doing that. I like waiting. I don't like I want to take my chances. So just looking at people who went later, Mooney, Cooper Kupp could have gotten. I mean, yeah, it's pretty weak sauce. The guys who went pretty soon after. So I totally get why the run on QB just went nuts right here. But Shaheed, you could have probably waited. Didn't need the Mahomes pick. Could have taken another running back there. It's not that there were any good ones floating around, but like a J.K. Dobbins or something like that. I don't want anybody who's not going to play week 1 in this format. Remember, if you don't get past week 1, you're done. It's one and done. So I wouldn't have taken Ayuk. There's a good reason why he falls in this draft. Yeah, Thornton Jr., I've been seeing that. We've been hearing the noise, but that is really early noise. Let's see if that continues. But hey, like one of the things when you're hearing that buzz, when it gets to preseason games, we'll play some DFS. We'll get Tyquan Thornton in there. All right, so Tattoo Freak, pretty good draft. Again, the CJ Daniel guy, Bijan, Judkins, I don't like it. I think if you don't come out of the first rounds with a bunch of really good starting running backs, you're going to lose here. And you can see how I did. Since I skipped Gibbs with my or McCaffrey with my pick here, I went very heavy on running backs afterwards. We got Brown, Mixon, Connor, Caleb. Note that I use Mixon and Connor. These are not guys I normally take. But in this format, I don't think the old guys are going to hurt us too much because, again, we're just trying to get past those first 3-4 weeks. We just want to get past the first 3-4 weeks. We're in the money. And then, hey, I don't know if they're going to get hurt, but like the old guys getting it done. And then I got Benson to back up Connor. So I just know I'll have these kind of good running backs filling all three spots, half-point PPR, where touchdowns are king. Lamb, Wilson, two super stud wide receivers. But then it get a little soft at wide receiver. Debo, Mims, Wandale. So I'm just trying to fill out that WR3 spot and just get it done. We got Travis Kelce in there. They say he's in good shape this year. Normally, I think he's a slow starter because he's coming off the offseason partying with T-Swizz. But it looks like supposedly he's in good shape. Now, maybe it could be the opposite. And he dropped 25 pounds because he's just fucking doing, wussy-ass, rich guy shit with his girlfriend. I don't know. But maybe he's still in shape. So, I don't know. Right? We'll find out. Trey Benson in there. We got a trio of wide receivers. Again, my regret in this draft was I regret this pick, Penix. I should have taken Hollywood or Thielen or Tillman or anything else. And then I could have waited a couple more rounds, got like a Sam Darnold or somebody else, and it would have been exactly the same. So that was a bad pick on my part. Mental note, like this was a problem. I think I just panicked. I was like talking. I panicked a little bit there. So not a good pick, but not a game killer, but not a good pick. I can't see your bye weeks when I look at this view, guys. So it just is what it is. Fact 74, we got McCaffrey, Breece Hall, and Pollard are three solid running backs. Thomas Moore, Pickens, three solid wide receivers. Good, healthy build to start. Got Addison in there. Hawkinson, Purdy, good QB there. Tajee Spears, McCarthy, and a bunch more good wide receivers. So are we a little soft at tight end? A little soft at tight end. Don't like that. So, again, Fact 74, I get it. You're out at the car wash, getting the oil change, doing the whole thing. But just get more tight ends than just two. You need three, and the second one should be sooner than this. Like, you didn't need Thornton. You didn't need Hopkins. You didn't need Dubs. There were tight ends available that you could have taken with any one of these picks. So I think that tight end position might end up being a downfall for this team. So, hopefully Hawkinson has a good first few weeks. But this is relying on two, I don't like it. Yeah. Arguing with the garage, wide receivers getting picked. Like, guys, just change my fucking oil and let me do my draft. Okay? Change my shit and let me draft. Soups, I already like what I see. I see a lot of green in the first few rounds. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a Kevin draft with Mason 5 viable starting running backs. JSN, McLaurin, Josh Downs. Got to make up for a lack of wide receivers. Got Shaheed and Kirk in there. Dallas Goddard first TE, but made up for it with 3 more. Dak, Stafford, Aaron Rodgers. You got QBs that are probably not the best, but I think with 3 of them, you can make up for it. Overall pretty good. Obviously, the wide receiver group looks maybe a smidge soft because of kind of how this draft went down, but it's so strong at running back, I think you make up for it. So I think that gets through the first few weeks, guys. Remember, I love this format, the Eliminator. We'll see. Like, what do you count as success? How many we get into the money? How many of our teams make it to week 3? That's already a success. I want 100% of my teams to get to week 3. Yeah. Tattoo, I need you to go and like listen to other content so that me and you aren't doing the same things, because I'm brainwashing you with these shows, just like talking about my players and who I like. And like, it doesn't really change that much, although it changed a little bit, not that much from week to week. So hopefully a lot of these takes that we have are going to work out. Hopefully you enjoyed, guys, at the beginning, the little breakdown of the quarterback position that we did. Just to give you an idea of how, the QBs work this year and how you can wait. You're really not giving up that many points. And how with quarterbacks, you can just pay attention to what they did last year. And unless things have changed massively, things should be the same. And yes, I did like the Josh Reynolds pick. I love it with Justin Fields. I should have done it in my previous draft. So I forgot. But I like the Reynolds pick. All right, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Going to get a bite to eat. Going to enjoy. We'll be back on Friday. Draft-a-Palooza, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all off-season long. All off-season long. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon. We might change up the time. We even have Fantasy Fling drafting Tuesdays at 5. So if you want an after-work stream, we got Fantasy Fling doing the Tuesday 5 o'clock stream. Almost every day of the week here on the DFS Army YouTube channel, we are drafting best ball teams. More to come. Fantasy football all off-season long and season long. And guys, the July 4 promo code is still active. So if you just want to get the full 12-month package of football from DFS Army, including not just the NFL season, best ball off-season, 12 months, XFL, AFL, whatever else, the preseason, just buy the NFL package is priced as if it's just like 5 months of NFL. So it's priced like it's 6 months of NFL, right? For the monthly. If you had to get the NFL yearly, it would be something like $600 for the year. We've got the yearly package instead for $300, and then with promo code July 4, it takes off an additional 25%. What the hell is that? $60, $75? So you're paying for a whole year of NFL for $225. So if you want to get the access to the domination station, the rankings, the best projection system in the industry, we'll put it up against anybody. Just play the optimals every week in DFS, and you will win cash games. Not every single time, but more often than not. Code July 4. There it is. Tattoo knows what's up. So go sign up. Get signed up now. Do the full year 12-month package. Promo code July 4, 25% off. You'll get 12 months of DFS Army football for just $225 for the whole year. That's less than $5 a month. That's right. It's less than the price of a cup of coffee. It's a great deal. All right, get in there. Good luck, everybody. I'm about to get me some DoorDash. Starving. Take care, everyone.